While making the intro, welcome to The Warrior is Alive for the 17th of the 8th, 2012. As always, I'm your host, Scottish Warrior 92, and let's get started with the live stream. Let's just see who's all here. And for anyone who's wondering, yes, I have set up the live stream older ones to actually play. Am I live? I just do a whole intro for no fucking reason. Yeah, that's good. I have set up on here to play my older streams, so you don't just stare at a blank screen for 5 minutes while I set up, so he's aren't all bored. I do apologise if I don't look directly at the webcam. As I said, I'm on my desktop. Yeah, radio. I love the mic. I am on my desktop, and I've set the webcam up on my drawers. Basically, I can't set it up any higher. So yeah, I'm going to have to be looking up here. I will look down here every now and then, but I'm going to have to look up here to see this. Yeah, just need to do that. To myself. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have probably warned you. Right now, sorry about the wee delay. I was actually uploading a video to YouTube. But just my luck, the video may actually be stuck in processing, and it took about a half hour to upload. So yeah, I might need to re-upload the video. It's just basically a clan update, so that kind of pissed me off a little bit. But I digress. At least I can get the live stream done. I just finished also editing another video, which will be up later tonight after the stream is done. I'm not saying what the video is. One or two of you may know what it is, depending on who's here. But yeah, that video will be up later on tonight. I do apologise. Excuse me. For the delay, the clan update, on the other hand, I might need to re-upload it due to the fact that fucking YouTube decided to fucking go into processing hell. Oh god. Sorry if my voice is a little too loud. This mic does tend to pick up a few things. And the only reason I'm holding it is because I don't like it too far away from me. So, for those that are curious about what is the topic of today's stream, I had a wee bit of think today, and one or two of you did suggest some very interesting topics. But today's topic, I think I am going to go with the one that the person who is actually here suggested, which was Alex the Hunted. He actually suggested I talk about are game developers being lazy in the past year with all the certain games that have been released, and I'm going to give my opinion on this topic, and I'm going to ask the clan's opinion on this topic. So this should be an interesting one. This topic is something that I think I can rage enough about, and for those that are watching it live, you can interact, and for those that are watching it on YouTube, enjoy. And I do apologise for the shitty quality, because this won't let me download any higher, so sorry, can't do anything about it. Anyway, let's get to the topic. And I don't know why I'm doing this voice. I just feel like I need to when I hold this mic. I feel epic. I'm sorry. I feel epic. But first things first. Time for a swig of juice. I need a swig of juice there. Just throat's starting to hurt. My voice might go halfway through this stream. My voice is a little bit groggy at the moment. I don't know why. It just decided to go, fuck you, you're not doing anything today. Oh, I won't. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tease you then if you don't have any drinks. This is Diet Coke, I don't drink alcohol. But let's get to the main topic of the stream, which is, are game developers being lazy? And the basic short answer to that is, hell fucking yes! I may have burst a few eardrums with that voice, but hell yes! It's very adamant in a lot of releases this year. Now, admittedly, I haven't played every single goddamn release this year due to the fact that I have no money. And I'm broke. And most it was shows that was released this year. There were very few RPGs to my knowledge. I do know there were one or two, so don't fucking stop badgering me with a dozen different RPGs that came out this year. But let's get to that. If you look at the latest releases for this year, basically, we have had quite a lot of a particular style of games. And that particular style is either first or third person shooter. There isn't that much variety. There have been also a few RPGs, and some of them quite adamant. I'm trying to avoid talking about a specific game because it is also not only a prime example of a game that was rushed, but also possibly a prime example of a game that possibly the developers were being lazy on. And it does begin with an M, and I don't really want to talk about it because, yeah, I would just be bitching and moaning about that game again, and I've already done enough of that. And I will admit, I did actually see a Let's Play of a game called Brink, which was meant to be a combination of first-person shooters and Mirror's Edge, basically. It failed. It was shit. It was god-awful, apparently. I watched a Let's Play of it, and I laughed my ass off at how bad it looked. Not only were the graphics horrible, but the gameplay looked borderline decrepit. Brink, I'm talking about. There were a lot of games that were released that are completely and utter horrendous. And a lot of this is quite adamant with, of course, you can state this very easy answer, and that is that the economy sucks. Here's the thing, though. The economy has sucked for the past several years. Doesn't mean you have to be lazy on a game. But the thing is, though, a lot of developers and newer developers that are popping out are trying to strive in a market that is becoming oversaturated with certain genres of games. And that genre is, unfortunately, either RPGs are getting overdone with, and also you have to also look at the first-person shooter and the third-person genre. Because those games have been oversaturated with a massive belch. Excuse me. And if you just look at the releases this year, to my knowledge, there were a fuck ton of shooters. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't get every major release. Like, one day I hope to get every major release so I can review every game, good or bad, and give my honest opinion on it. But yeah, there have been an overabundance of shooter games because guess what? They think it sells. And the thing is, though, a lot of these game developers are putting out that genre because the shooting genre is becoming oversaturated. And in my opinion, I don't mind shooter games. In fact, shooter games are sometimes good games just to play for the sheer lulz of it. And I'm not a massive multiplayer gamer, so I don't really play Call of Duty, and I've made my feelings about the Call of Duty franchise quite adamant. I don't like the franchise. I think it's basically ruined the first-person shooter genre because, as I say, I'm a story-based gamer. I love story-based games, and if a shooter comes out with a great story, I'll play it. But that's the thing, though. A lot of these developers just think, oh, no so much developers, more so publishers, because publishers, as we all know, are people who went to marketing school and believe they know everything about gaming, even though they probably have never touched a game in their life beyond Pac-Man or even Super Mario Brothers. All hotshots in suits who wouldn't know the gaming industry and the game if it was staring them in the face, shouting, shut the fuck up, here's the game we fucking want, take it and give us it, you money-grubbing whores. They think they know what's best for us, when in actual fact all they care about is something that begins with M and rhymes with honey. What the fuck did that come from? Yeah, whatever. I'll go with it. And it's sickening in my opinion because there are a lot of potential developers out there to actually make fantastic games. However, with publishers and also developers, they think that they need to put out a game that everyone's going to like, when in actual fact they should be aiming for a certain customer franchise. These mostly publishers and some developers think that the gamer is one thing, that every gamer is the same, that we all like one certain aspect of gaming. Like, we all love this about gaming, we all love that about gaming. But here's the thing, gamers are the exact same as moviegoers. We all have different tastes, and we all have different opinions. And of course, as Alex has just pointed out, they only contribute the goddamn multiplayer, which is also about that game, which is also another part of that game, which another part of that game that I don't want to talk about, which really infuriated me and was a complete attack on unnecessary fucking multiplayer, which shouldn't have fucking been on it. Sorry, trying to hold back the rage. Anyway, and that's what the developers think, and also publishers. Hey Napoleon, nice seeing you. You're a little late, but welcome. No, I'm kidding. Welcome. But That's what a lot of these publishers think the future of gaming is, and it is the multiplayer, which, in my opinion, multiplayer gaming is a necessary part of gaming. However, not every gamer likes multiplayer games. I barely play any multiplayer games. I play games for story or just for sheer carnage and anarchy. That's why I play Saints Row. That's why I play Saints Row the Third, where you get to walk around and slap people with a giant purple dildo called the Penetrator. That sounds more silly than I actually thought, but I love it. But most games that came from PS2 days, gamers, exactly, most gamers who came from the older genre of games, before the infamous demonstration of Xbox Live and PSN, all we had was single player games. Even going back as far as the NES, the NES, the Atari, for fuck's sake. Single player we gamers who grew up in the 90s, 80s, and debatable 70s as well, grew up with games where multiplayer wasn't in it, where multiplayer was a fucking rarity in some cases. Most games I played as a kid were single player games, and that's what I loved the most about it. I love the single player aspect of games. For fuck's sake, one of the games that I played to death as a kid was motherfucking Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation 1, I think. And I loved that game. I played that game to death. But nowadays, it's all about multiplayer, which, fair enough, is a great thing to keep a company going. It's a great thing to introduce. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually considering playing Guild Wars 2, which is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. But god damn, I loved single-player games. Am I the only gamer out there that loves just to play a single-player game and enjoy the story, the music, and doesn't even care about multiplayer? And that's what a lot of these publishers think the future is. Because 5 million people play Call of Duty online in the multiplayer, they think that that's the entire gaming marketplace. They think all those millions of players are every gamer in the world, when they couldn't be more fucking wrong. Every gamer's different. Don't get me wrong, when I first played Call of Duty, I was kind of addicting. I enjoyed Call of Duty World at War. I played a lot of it online. It got boring after like 3 days. It got boring after like the first 3 hours, but hell, it was fun to an extent. Oh god, what is it? What is it, Jazz? My friend is the most important game is the MP, not is. Oh god, no. Look, it all depends on the game. In my opinion, Call of Duty and any shooter that is aiming to have multiplayer in it and not have a decent story, scrap the campaign and scrap the story. Just fucking give them a multiplayer. That all depends on what type of gamer you are. Like, co-op games I personally like in an extent, but co-op games are only fun when you play them with your friend. I don't play a co-op by myself. I don't play a co-op with a random fucking person who I don't know. I'd rather play it with a friend and enjoy it. And it also has to have something to involve in the story of a game. This is my opinion, but I see from the other side as well. I see how multiplayer games can help the industry, but also ruin it as well. Resident Evil 5, which actually, no, I've not got it here downstairs. Resident Evil 5 is a prime example. That game's a whole lot fucking better with multiplayer, with co-op, with friends. I've completed Resident Evil 5 without a partner, which is fucking near impossible because the AI on your fucking companion sucks. She walks right into goddamn fucking Reapers and goddamn chainsaw guys. You're like, fucking Shiver, get the fuck out of the way and follow me, you daft black bitch. Oops, I sounded racist there. Fuck, I don't care. God. Whew. Excuse me. I am going to get Resident Evil 6, and I will do a day one impression and a review of it. Don't worry about that. I might even do an LP of it if I can do it, but no guarantees. But I do see the point in where companies are coming from with multiplayer and cooperative games. As it says, there is going to be a market for those games. I'm not fucking retarded. I do know that there's going to be a market for those games. That's just not me personally, though. If they came out with a co-op game that had a great story, hell, I'd fucking play it with a friend if I could. But there are very few co-op games out there with a fantastic fucking story. Most stories are either mediocre or acceptable to an extent. Resident Evil 5, for example, was a decent story. It was still shit, but it was decent. I enjoyed it, but it just but it was enjoyable playing it myself, but I would have preferred if I could play it with someone I knew. Unfortunately, no one else I knew had Resident Evil 5 because everyone else kind of hates it. As I said, I've not got Red Dead Redemption. I do know there was multiplayer in it, and it probably is enjoyable with friends. However, if it doesn't add anything to the story, I'm not going to fucking play it. I'm sorry. I'm a story-based gamer. Sorry, I've got a wee bit of a pain up my back there. Oh, God, that's better. Well, congratulations again, 100%. I just got the Infinite Rocket Launcher, and it's fun as hell. But let's get back to the topic. Now, I just say most people here are gamers of the 90s. Most of my clan are gamers of the 90s and early 80s. And also maybe early 80s. And we all grew up with single-player games. And that's the games that I enjoy the most. I enjoy single-player games because I enjoy playing by my... I was about to say I enjoy playing with myself, but I enjoy playing by myself. Oh, sex jokes, gotta fucking love them. Halo 4 is debatable. As I say, I've played all the Halos. I enjoy them. I normally just play them single player. Sorry, Alex. But as I say, cooperative with friends is always fun. But I do see the point in where the business side of it, that why they might want to do this. However, I'm coming from my point of view. You've missed quite a lot, Bobby, sorry. You've missed a bit, but don't worry, you can catch up. But as I said, it's just my opinion is that a lot of developers are being lazy in this instance, and they just throw together a game and tack on a half-assed multiplayer or a half-assed story mode. Especially when it comes to games that actually are meant to have a heart-driven story, or sorry, just adjusting myself. Are meant to have a heart-pounding story, and they tack on a half-assed multiplayer. And the only example that I can give for this year that I have played. Why do I always end up talking about this goddamn fucking game? Mass Effect 3. God damn it, this thing is haunting me. Mass Effect 3 is the biggest example of lazy basically development because of the multiplayer. The multiplayer was tacked on and fucking cheesy as hell. The only time I ever played the multiplayer was when I was playing with friends. Only time I ever played it. When I was playing it with people I knew, because I needed people I could trust. And it's a tacked on half-assed multiplayer just to extend longevity to the game. And that's what a lot of developers are being lazy about as well. They're tacking on multiplayer. If you're going to put a multiplayer in a game, at least make it a decent multiplayer, not a half-assed horde mode. And then, of course, you got to go, for example, of all these single-player games. Wait. How many single-player games came out this year, actually? I honestly think the majority of games that came out this year were mostly co-op or multiplayer-focused. That's most games that came out this year, to my knowledge, a good majority of them were mostly multiplayer or cooperative games that basically the single-player didn't really need to be there. And that just, for me, seems like that. And developers and publishers are becoming more and more extremely lazy, in my opinion, as well. Because of the fact that they're rushing the games, they're getting them out too soon. For fuck's sake, let's take a prime example of how these developers are being lazy. How many, the past month alone, last month was basically barren for big retail releases. That was all it was. Basically barren for releases because there was only mostly indie games released or DLCs occasionally. There was barely any new AAA releases. But look at fucking November. They're rushing them out beyond fucking belief for Christmas, which is pissed off. And of course, a lot of these developers think that, guess what? We could just fix it with fucking DLC. Here's my thing to you. Fuck you developers and fuck you publishers that think that. Do not fucking think you can fix everything with DLC. It cannot. If you release a half-assed fucking game, you're gonna hear about it from me or from others. Do not release a half-assed game thinking that you can rush out a half-done game and then just patch it with fucking DLC. Because, here's my message to you. It doesn't fucking work because guess what? We gamers don't forgive and forget. That's what a lot of publishers, ever since the adamant ability of DLC, ever since Xbox Live and PSN came along and the developers figured out, oh, wait a minute, we can just release DLC. We can just take chunks of the game out and release it as DLC so that we can get more money. Poor business model. Dumb business, in my opinion. Because, here's the thing. If you release the game, just a generic game, any game will do, that is very well done, the graphics look good, the story is very well done, and you've polished that game before release, then you will be probably praised beyond belief. If you release a half-assed game and then release DLC afterwards that most likely was meant to be in the game from the fucking start, you will hear something about this, either from me or the rest of the gaming community, and you will get your ass chewed off. So this is my tip to developers and publishers. Don't be lazy. Take your time with your games. Do not rush them, because you want to get them out into the market shelves. Here's the thing. Don't rush the games and don't be fucking lazy about it. When you're making the game, take your time. If the game is a lengthy game and requires a lot of development, especially if the game is a RPG, that kind of game needs time to create. It needs at least a couple of years in development before it should be even near release. But a lot of developers rush it, and the prime example of this is the difference between Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age Origins is debatable, one of the greatest RPGs ever fucking released. And how long was it in development? 5+ years if memory serves me. Dragon Age 2 was released a year or two after the events of Dragon Age Origins, and it was a piss poor sequel. It was still a great game, but it was a piss poor sequel, and they rushed it out the fucking door. Dragon Age 2 is another example of a game that was rushed out of the door by basically EA and BioWare to cash in on the popularity of the Dragon Age franchise. And they've learned their fucking lesson, thankfully enough, with that, because Dragon Age 3 is still another isn't coming out until 2013, I think, isn't coming out until 2014, which is a brilliant, genius fucking movie, EA and BioWare. Brilliant fucking decision. Because they're taking their time with this, hopefully, and they're going to give us a decent game instead of giving us a half-assed sequel like Dragon Age 2 and then releasing DLC saying the game is complete now. No, don't fucking do that. But there are plenty of other examples, because one genre, as I've stated earlier on, is the genre that basically stinks of laziness, and it is the shooters genre. Because shooters are not the most easiest games to program. No game is easy to program, but they're the easiest to complete, because the code's already there. Copy, paste, done. Yeah, Dragon Age 3 will be the worst, sorry. Yeah, better fucking be. But let's get back to the topic. Sure, games are probably the easiest games to make. Not saying that they are like anyone can make them. It still takes a bit of time to create shooter games. Oops, shit. But a lot of games, like the Call of Duty franchise is the best example of this. The Call of Duty franchise is nothing but a copy-paste job every fucking year with upgraded graphics and maybe some new multiplayer packs, which they were probably going to release in the previous game as DLC, but they thought, no, let's just put it into a fucking new retail release. That is the best example I can give for lazy. The Call of Duty franchise. The Call of Duty franchise's campaigns are laughable. They are a joke. You can breeze through them in less than 4 hours. And don't even say Black Ops 2 will actually have a decent story. I'll believe it when I fucking see it. Excuse me, just need to fit my glasses there. The Call of Duty franchise each year, like, I played Call of Duty World at War and I played its predecessor. I played the following year's one, which I can't remember what the name was. And they were the same game. The only difference was upgraded graphics, new multiplayer packs, maps, and some new weapons. That was it. Nothing more, nothing less. The Call of Duty franchise is nothing but a copy-paste job each fucking year with upgraded graphics because they think they need to release a Call of Duty game every fucking year. And of course, my personal favourite, guess what that made every other developer think? Oh, we need to release a new game every fucking year to stay popular. No, you don't. Shooter games, fair enough. A year or two in development. Other genres of games take longer. Yep, good. Battlefield, in my opinion, is near enough an identical example of the Call of Duty franchise of a copy-paste job, but at least the Battlefield games actually do some innovation stuff and do actually do a decent job with the campaign, even though it's still laughable. It's better than the Call of Duty one, I will state that. However, Battlefield and Call of Duty are technically both guilty of the copy-paste job. However, Battlefield is less guilty of it because they actually do one or two innovations. Call of Duty, on the other hand, is just basically a copy-paste job every fucking year. Which is reason why I'm not a big shooter gamer anymore. I do get the occasional shooter game. The last shooter game I got was... oh, what was it? It was Gears of War 3, and I love that game. It is awesome. DICE, I know I've heard good things from DICE, as I say. As long as I say, at least Battlefield Apple admits what it is. Call of Duty try and say they try and innovate. My ass, they innovate. Yeah, the last innovation they had was D-pads. Ha. Yeah, I will admit, I am a little bit psyched for the new Gears of War game. I'm new to the franchise. I've only played 3, so I am looking forward to Judgment. That should be interesting. See, can anyone give me another example of a franchise that is basically lazy, or a developer or a publisher that is lazy, besides EA? Because I think EA is guilty enough about being fucking the laziest fucking publisher to rush out fucking games beyond fucking belief. I think we've made that quite adamant. Yes, FIFA. FIFA is another prime example. It's basically the same fucking thing over and over again. What am I? That's not a bad idea. Caramel. I think my laptop's going to explode. Oh well. Excuse me. Well, we've got FIFA and most sports games. In fact, the sports franchise, for sports genre is a prime example. Most of it is just a copy fucking paste job, including the WWE fucking games. Ugh. Unless they do some kind of innovative stuff every year. Sonic and Mario. Sonic and Mario are fucking awesome. Any Sonic and Mario game at least does something to add to the franchise. Mario 64 was the one that added a bit of 3D. Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic 4. Okay, they're repetitive, but they're classic gaming icons. Screw you, Alex. Need for Speed, another prime example, is just basically the same stuff. And of course, I am probably going to get killed off of Alex for this. But so is fucking Forza. All racing games and most sports games are nothing but copy-paste jobs with updated graphics. That's all they are, in my opinion, because if you want to play Sports Simulator 1, you fucking go. I'm not going to fucking stop you. I just think they're a waste of money because it's just the basic same thing over and over every year. Unless they add some new innovations to it where you get to run around, run around on the soccer field with Mario. In fact, the last football game I played was Mario Soccer on the fucking Wii. I have played Forza. It's a copy-paste job every year, basically. All it is upgraded graphics, some new racing tracks, and some new cars. Stuff that probably could have been released in DLC, but they decided to sell it as a big retail price. Basically, there's probably plenty more examples, and the main ones are Call of Duty and most sports games. There are other sports games that kind of at least do a bit of innovation. The WWE games, for example, up until a point were doing new things every year with their characters, but it was primarily mostly a copy-paste job for the past few years. But with the newer games, they have tried to update it and do some new stuff, but it is basically still a copy-paste job the majority of the time. And that is just basically developers and publishers being lazy and just going, you know what, we can't be asked fucking rushing a new game. Just copy paste the last one, update the graphics, and toss it into fucking retails like that. That's about it. Let's be honest, you can't really do much in a sports game. Yeah, if you're a sports fan, it's Nirvana. But I'm not a sports fan, so I don't really care. Yeah, same argument can be said about the Elder Scrolls franchise, but at least the Elder Scrolls... No, you really can't say that, actually, because the Elder Scrolls franchise, for a while at least, each Elder Scrolls game that comes out, there's always a good gap between them. I mean, what was the gap between Oblivion and Skyrim again? Because those are the only two I've played. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like a 4 or 5 year gap. Excuse me. The Elder Scrolls franchise... 5 years. There's 5 year gap between them, and look at the fucking difference between the two of them. They're almost completely different games. If they weren't called by the same main title, The Elder Scrolls, and set in the same universe, they're almost two completely different games, and there's always something new to the Elder Scrolls franchise with each game that they play. I happily state that. I'm actually wanting to go back and play Morrowind, because apparently that's meant to be the best one. I'll be the judge of that when I eventually do play it. And there's a lot more content than driving around in a circle, or kicking a ball up and down a field, or shooting a guy going, die, 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 you bastard. That's about it. At least the Elder Scrolls franchise updates itself and adds something new to it. For fuck's sake, Elder Scrolls Skyrim had dragons. What kind of... Up until that point, dragons were near enough laughable in most games, but they were fucking awesome in Skyrim. I know you were only joking, but I had to make my point. I had to give my opinion. That's my thing. And as I say, there's the most. As I say, that's the good thing. That's a good thing in my opinion. Is if you take your time with a game, it can be fan-fucking-tastic, or it can fall flat in its fucking face. Contender for Game of the Decade. Debatable. Skyrim is a really good game, and it could be debated to be a game of the decade, in my opinion. I do agree with that. Excuse me. Sorry, Mass Effect 3 isn't the game of the decade. It's the biggest disappointment of the fucking decade. Back away. Rage, go away. Try and not talk about the game. Trust me, I intend to do something with that. Excuse me. But let's get back to it. As I say, the games that are normally the best, like as I say, the difference between Oblivion and Skyrim. If you didn't know they were made by the same company or the same basically title, they are almost two completely different games. The same can be said about Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. They're almost completely different games. If they didn't share a universe, you would be able to tell, you would be like, who made this and who made that? Because they are different in great aspects. The only main difference, except for being set in the same universe, but graphically and all that, they are almost different in every way. That's the kind of gaming that I miss, when developers and publishers took their fucking time with the game and actually made great innovations. But the only thing is, though, that's still a risk. It's a risk that might not pay off. And a lot of these, mostly publishers, some developers are actually willing to take the risk, but publishers are the ones that are just like, nah, we can't take the risk. We can't guarantee a profit. Which is, oh god, it really does piss me off. I don't know what the game of the decade was in 2000. Oh, good luck. Oh, damn. Impressive, Napoleon. You 100% of Oblivion? Damn. I barely got through it. I couldn't play it anymore until Skyrim came out. But back to the topic. And that's why that's my message to publishers. Here's my thing, publishers and developers, because some developers are guilty of this as well. When you rush a game, it shows. When you just copy and paste, it shows. When you take the time and the effort to do innovative stuff in games, we appreciate it. Those games are the games that stick with us. Games like Mario, Sonic, innovations at the time. Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls franchise, Final Fantasy up until 8. Metal Gear Solid, Crash Bandicoot. All of these games that I'm mentioning here did something to innovate and took a risk, and it succeeded. Another franchise that took risks was the Ultima franchise up until a certain point, which EA got involved in, which I punched them in the fucking face for that. But that game made innovations beyond bloody belief, and the Ultima series actually, most RPGs to date owe a lot to the Ultima series, and a lot of them also owe it to Morrowind as well, from my knowledge. Excuse me. From my knowledge, Morrowind was actually a major inspiration for a lot of developers. And the last game that, to my knowledge, that took any kind of risk this year that wasn't a major fucking disappointment was The Witcher. No, that was last year, was it not? The Witcher 2, I'll use an example. I think it came out last year, or was it this year? I think it was this year. Yeah, thanks. It came out this year. That game is fucking awesome. It took risks, and it succeeded. In my opinion, that game is very close to being my game of the year. Because it is a fantastic game. It not only took risks, but it succeeded. It had a great story, it had great combat, it had great memorable characters, it took risks, it innovated on the RPG franchise. But guess what? Guess what it didn't have? It didn't have a half-assed tacked-on multiplayer. It actually had a good story, it had lovable characters, it had a great universe. Minecraft, debatable. Minecraft, I don't really like that much. I like watching it, I don't like playing it. I played like 5 minutes of it and went, no, this is fucking shit, go away, see ya. Minecraft, I've played a little bit of Minecraft. I didn't like it that much. Just not my thing. Yeah, Minecraft's only really fun if you're with your friends or you have a creative mind. Unlike me, who has no creativity whatsoever. And I really would like it if developers and publishers weren't afraid to take risks, but that's not going to happen as long as it's recession. And mostly from the publishers who are like, we can't take risks because we have to return our investments to the publisher. To the investors, sorry. And then we can't make money as well. They have to guarantee a profit or they don't do it. But here's the thing, publishers of the world. If you don't take risks and you just keep releasing the same fucking shit over and over again, we ain't gonna buy it. Read my lips. We ain't gonna buy it. We ain't gonna buy it. We ain't gonna buy it. You can go fuck yourself. We ain't gonna buy it. Because guess what? Releasing the same shit over and over again, I don't know if you don't realize this, it gets kind of lazy and dull. Kingdom of Amalur is also another example. I think it was a good game. The combat was fun as hell. It had a kind of an interesting lore, and I kind of wished that it had expanded on it a bit more, but unfortunately the developer went bust, which is a piston. Okay, go ahead. Answer. What's the question? If the question's related to the topic, Josh, you can ask it. Ask away. But yeah, Kingdom of Amalur, in my opinion, was a really game that really had a missed opportunity. I would recommend it, in my opinion. It has got a lot of content in it, but a shame is the developer went bust. And it's a shame because it had so much potential, in my opinion. But unfortunately, Kingdom of Amalur was actually originally meant to be an MMO, and you can kind of tell that. Let's see your question. What is more important in a game? A dev team, director, or the producer? That's a tricky question. Because it really, in my opinion, all of them are important in their own sense. And I'll give you my opinion. This is how I see what is the most important thing for making a game, in my opinion. Story, that is majority made by the writers. I like the writers are the best. The art team, the composers, the directors, the producers, everyone has their own part in making the game, and I appreciate every single bit of it. Not so much the multiplayer guys. I'm just like, oh, you did your job, fuck off. But it's debatable. I think I think it's more of a team effort. So I think everyone is important in a sense, but without really the development team, the people who program the game would never come. It would probably never be. So I'm going to have to say the dev team are the most important part, but at the same time, the director and the producer also have a vital part to play as well. But if I'm going to be honest, I think the dev team are the ones that have to put a lot of effort in it, doing the programming code, getting the artwork in, doing the writing. So in my opinion, it is the development team that are the most important part of the making a game, because they're the ones that are putting in the hours and hours, days, months, or even years of effort to make this game that might actually never ever see the light of day. So I'm going to say dev team is the most important for me personally, but it's debatable. Everyone has their own opinion. And that's why I feel sorry for a lot of these people who create these games that are basically doing it out of mandate, who are basically being told, right, go program this game for us. They can't say anything about it. It's their job. They have to do it. If someone comes up to them, if their boss comes up and says, I want you to make this shooter based on fucking, I don't know, Care Bears, Call of Duty Care Bears, I want you to make that. And they go, they can't go, are you fucking serious? You want me to make Care Bears in Call of Duty? They can't say that, because if they say that, they're fired. They actually have to go, okay, I'll program it. And then they'll probably go in there, what am I doing with my life? I wanted to make good games, not pieces of fucking shit. Or there are people who actually like to do that. I'm not saying they aren't, but that's just my opinion. A lot of the programmers and all that really do have to put a lot of effort into games that they really don't care about. But when the dev team care about the game, you can tell, because there are a lot of effort put in it. So in my opinion, it's the dev team, and you really got to feel. I feel really sorry for all of the people who have to program the game, and also the writers and the artists who put a lot of effort into this. And the odds are their game's never going to see the light of day unless a publisher comes along and goes, we'll do it for you, but you have to just make one or two wee minor changes. That's my opinion. The publishers are the worst thing, in my opinion, but also some developers are dicks as well. Kickstarter is a good thing, in my opinion, but at the same time, I can also see how it can be a bad thing. Kickstarter is a good thing. I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to round up this topic and say that I do believe that unless game developers and publishers start taking risks, we're not going to get any innovation in gaming, and we're not going to get any brand spanking new IPs, because they're not safe to make. They're just going to be ripping off other people, and they're just going to be doing copy-paste jobs until we just basically say, we're fucking done with it. Stop giving us the same game over and over again. How about you give us something actually innovative. Give us something new. And unless we just say to the developers and publishers, how about you go fuck yourself and stop giving us the same goddamn game over and over again and actually give us a fucking decent game? They just gotta keep doing it. And as long as we pay with our wallet, they don't care. So that's why I don't buy a lot of games anymore, because there's very few games that actually intrigue me. I mostly stick to the safe ones, and also games that look interesting to me. So hopefully the new IPs that are coming out this year, like Dishonored and Injustice, and a lot of the games coming out, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think I'll round that up. So I think that's all I've got to say on the topic, but I will actually make a quick note about Kickstarter, since Alex mentioned it. Kickstarter is a good thing, in my opinion, because it actually bypasses the publisher, but at the same time I can also see it as a bad thing, because the good thing is, though, it helps get projects that, otherwise wouldn't see the light of day, that publishers are not willing to take risks on. It basically gives a lot of these people a nice wee leeway to go, right, I'm making this, if you want to help me out, please do, that's all I'm asking, and it's a nice wee thing. However, I also see the bad side to it is that if you're basically saying that, and people give you the money, and you reach the goal, you have to deliver on all the promises that you made, and if you don't deliver on every single promise, you're screwed. But the thing is, though, you have to also make it clear to the backers, this is what we're making. You have, with your money, depending on how much you donate, you can add creative construction system, but if we can't put it in the game you want, unfortunately you've donated the money, so yeah, we're taking it. So a lot of people do see if they put their own money in it, they have a say in how it's developed, how it's made, how it should be. I want this in it, I want that in it. But there's only so much you can do, and you have to deliver on that promise. If it falls flat on its fucking face, you are screwed. That's basically it. So it's a big risk reward, which I love, but at the same time I also see how it can fail. And I think that's all I've got to say about it. As I said, maybe I'll do a Kickstarter for a special occasion in the future. But at the moment, I see Kickstarter as a good thing. I haven't Kickstarted anything or put my money towards any project because I have no money. But there have been one or two that I've been tempted. But I think that's about it, and that's all I've got to say on the topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any questions? Let's just throw it out there for a quick Q&A session, if you will. This is what I always do in my live streams. Do you have any questions out there? And for those watching on the VOD, the topic's over. This is probably going to be stale for the next 20 minutes, so you may want to just click off and go away. But any questions out there? Yeah, you also have to consider how many members are on the dev team. Have you seen the trailer for Remember Me? Is it another rom-com? Because no, I don't watch those trailers. No, I haven't seen that trailer. No, I've not seen the trailer for Remember Me yet. I haven't really watched that many game trailers lately. I'll definitely have to check it out. I keep meaning to, but I'm just like, oh god, I've just been... What do you think did the better Crow? What? Who do you think did the better Crow? Huh. Brandon Lee. That's the only Crow I've seen. I do know there are other Crow movies and TV series. But, yeah. Brandon Lee or Brandon Lee? Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee. Oh, drawing. I haven't put it up yet, Alex. What are you talking about? I'm not saying a word. That should be up later on today. Let me just have a quick check something. I need to check see if that video I uploaded is still stuck in processing. I swear if it is, I'm going to be pissed off. Let me just check. Oh, nope, it's not stuck. It's up. Yeah, client update's up. Yeah, it's up. That's good. Sorry, I just had to double check there. I needed to make sure. So do we have any more questions out there or any other quick topics you want me to talk about? Anything in particular? Just fire away. What am I got to do now? I'm going to sing. This mic actually picks up quite well. We ain't gonna buy it. No, we're not. We're not gonna buy it. We're not gonna buy it anymore. Do we have any questions? Fire them away. Any questions? Any topic? I'm not too fussed. Who do I think should be the new villain in the reboot Batman? I'd like to see a villain that hasn't been done yet. Oh, excuse me. Beg my pardon. So I wouldn't mind maybe seeing Riddler, Scarecrow, a good Scarecrow, Croc, Freeze, I don't know, like, I just says, my first pick would have to be the Joker, but I think we've already had I think people will still go, no, it's too early, Heath Ledger's only been dead for like 4 years. Recast the Joker, but I think they should save that probably for the second or the third film. What the hell was that? Sorry, I got the bug. But I just also maybe bring back Ra's al Ghul would be nice. That would be awesome. But that's just my opinion. What was your first most amazing game you've played? That's really hard. God, the first game that ever made me go, wow, that was fucking awesome or amazing. If memory serves me, it was Knights of the Old Republic. It's my earliest RPG I can remember. That game fucking rocked. That was one of the best games I'd ever played, and still to this day I replay it every now and then. It is a fantastic game and was the first game that ever really made me go, holy shit, this is awesome, this is amazing, I love you, give me more. That was the first game that ever really made me go like that. But as I say, when I was younger, there was other games like Crash Bandicoot, Mario, Sonic, occasionally other games, Halo as well. But KOTOR was the first one that really made me go, holy fucking shit, this is awesome. And it was one of the first games I ever completed. I wasn't really much for completing games at a younger age, but KOTOR made me complete it. So yeah. Let's have a question message. What? No, the black glove would be cool, and right, the Batman reboot. Are you looking to get the new XCOM game due in October? Not the FPS one. I don't know that much about XCOM beyond the spinnies, the spinny ones. Betrayal, betrayed me. This game sucks. Beyond that, I actually know nothing about XCOM. I'm sorry. I do know that the Spoonie actually likes the look of it now. I don't know that much about XCOM. I'm sorry. I may look into it. But I do know it's an RTS game, but I'm not much of an RTS gamer. I'm sorry. I don't play that many RTS games. Mainly because I suck at them, and anytime I try and play them, excuse me, I die. A lot. So, yeah, I don't intend to get that many. You know, sometime the FPS will reboot the game from the 90s. One of the FPS is another reboot from the games from the 90s. Reboots to games from the 90s? As long as they do them justice, I don't mind. I think a couple of games from the 90s deserve reboots, but a lot of games from the 90s, if they tried to reboot it, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would hate it, especially if they failed and people would go, what the fuck did you just do? You fucked with this game. You don't fuck with us. Reboot games are tricky as hell. So prequels, sequels, blah, blah, blah. But there's only one or two games to my knowledge that I think deserve proper reboots. I'll send you a link later on, mate. Looks smart as fuck. Okay, right. Cheers. Cheers for the link. Send it via my PM box. But do we have any more questions out there at all? And I'll answer as many as I can. Let me just do a quick check as well. We've got a couple of tweets. Just check, see how many tweets I got. If anyone's asked any questions on Twitter. On tweet. Nope, nothing new. Just a couple of wee things. 2 secs. There we go. Ah, bollocks. No button. Wrong button. There we go. So do we have any more questions out there? While I take another swig of my juice. Do you think all next-gen games will run at 50 FPS instead of 30 FPS? I hope. I would hope that it runs at... As in the next generation of games, I would hope would run at a higher frame rate. I would kind of hope that it would run. I hope that they'll actually be 1080p as well, because as it says, most games nowadays are 720p, which is okay, it's really good quality, but as it says, nothing really compares to a PC. That's why I'm aiming to upgrade my PC with a great graphics card so I can play games in the best quality possible. But I would hope that the next gen consoles do upgrade their graphics and a lot and give us hopefully 60 FPS if possible. As I said, I don't really notice that much because I am primarily a console gamer, but I'm pretty sure if I played a PC game of the same game, I'd be like, holy shit, what the fuck, whoa, this is too fast. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. I really do hope that the next gen consoles do have double the frames per second, especially since it's going to be, how long has it been since the Xbox and PS3's been out? I would like to think there'd be higher FPS by no, excuse me, that was a big belch. Yeah, 2006. So I would bloody well fucking hope that at least 60 FPS. If it's 50, okay, I accept that, but I would like it to be at least doubled, or even. I know it's kind of hard to ask them, but can you maybe think about doing it 70? I know, yeah, PCs can run up to 120 frames per second, which is awesome, and I really want to play a couple PC games. But as I say, I need to upgrade a graphics card first. Will you watch Green Arrow TV show? It's not called Green Arrow, Alex. It's called Arrow. And I probably end up well because I love my superhero shows. Actually, I asked there, since like a couple people here happen to be quite tech savvy and quite more geeky than me, and also know a lot more about old school games, are there any old school PC games or current new PC games that anyone would recommend? Because I'm going to be getting a new graphics card. I'm hoping in the next month or two. I'm going to spoil myself with some of my bursary, hopefully. By the way, no RTS games. I am not an RTS gamer. I really don't like RTS games, so sorry. Crysis 3 I will if I can. KOTOR is a must. I still have KOTOR and I love it. I actually am thinking about getting Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 because those games I heard were absolutely fucking fantastic in their day and still hold up quite well today. The Old Republic, once it becomes free to play and if my computer can run it, I will give it a test, a run. But as I said, I'm not a big MMO player either, but if it's gone free to play, I'm like, oh, let's fucking check it out, let's see if it's any good. But I'm going to be primarily getting most of them off GOG. Yeah, as I said, I've definitely why I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, because I heard they're bloody awesome and they were made by BioWare when BioWare was good. Before EA got their claws in, so hopefully it should be awesome. I'll definitely why I play them. So Team Fortress 2 I may pick up, as is I'm not a big multiplayer gamer, but I might test it out. Excuse me. But I think, as I say, like, companies have given some good suggestions. I really like the sound of that, so I definitely have to check out a lot of these old school games. Apparently that's when games were good. I kid. But I want to thank you all for coming to this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining enough for you, for all you who showed up. Thanks for watching it. Hopefully it was a really interesting topic to discuss with all of you. Hopefully you found it entertaining. Give StarCraft 2 a try with the trial. I know nothing about RTS and StarCraft got me into it. Okay, I'll give it a try. Jeez, you're so panicky. I'll give StarCraft a try and see if it's any good. And anyway, thanks you for all watching it. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a nice discussion for all yous. This was absolutely, I really enjoyed talking with all yous. Hope it was enjoyable for yous. And hopefully we'll do more in the future. Hopefully I sounded alright. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me just get over the stop button. There we are. And thank you all for coming. And I had an absolute blast talking with you. It was a nice, interesting topic to discuss. Hopefully I entertained you enough. And I think all that's left to say is thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. And I'll catch you all later. Ciao for now. Mwah.